The internet is on fire right now. Fans are in complete shock, and if you thought this was just another concert recap, buckle up, because what we've uncovered will flip the narrative completely. Word is, FBI insiders just dropped a bombshell. D4vd's secret girlfriend was allegedly spotted in the crowd at his September concert. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. Rumors are swirling. Betrayal, deception, secrets. They say she wasn't just there as a fan, she was front row. Whispering in his ear, flashing signs that only the inner circle would understand. And now, people are asking, who is she? Why was she hiding? And how deep does this go? But wait, there's more. Because shortly after that sighting, drama exploded backstage. Messages leaked, friends turned foes, and even members of D4vd's own team started pointing fingers. Loyalty crumbled. Alliances shifted. The family was left divided. And now, social media's burning with hashtags like #D4vdExposed. #Front Row Secrets, #FBI Leaks. In this video, we're going deep, diving into the evidence, the wild claims, the whispers in D-Town, and the unexpected twist that nobody saw coming. Don't blink, because with every second, the story gets darker, the stakes get higher, and the lines between truth and fiction blur. You're not ready for what drops in 5 minutes. Stay tuned, this is the full saga. It all started on a September night that should have been just another stop on D4vd's tour. The crowd was lit, the lights were blazing, and the fans were screaming every lyric like it was gospel. But in the middle of all that chaos, something strange happened. Something that would set the internet on fire, shake D4vd's entire inner circle, and lead to one of the wildest rap culture conspiracies we've seen in years. She was spotted in the crowd. Nobody knew who she was. She wasn't listed on the VIP guest list, she didn't roll in with the team, and yet, there she was. Front row. Not just vibing to the music, but locked in. Eyes glued to D4vd like she knew something the rest of us didn't. Fans around her said she didn't even sing along. She just stood there, quiet, intense, calculated, and then people started talking. That wasn't just a random fan. That was her. The secret girl. Rumors had been floating for months about a low-key relationship D4vd was supposedly keeping under wraps. Some said she was a childhood friend. Others swore she was connected to the label. A few thought she was just an obsessed stan who crossed a line. But that night, when she appeared right before D4vd went on stage, everything changed. A backstage staffer swears he saw her slip through a side tunnel near the production area minutes before showtime. No badge, no pass. Just a whisper to security, and she was in. Another crew member said she asked for a specific water bottle brand, the same one D4vd always requests. How would she even know that? Things got even weirder when D4vd's phone lit up with a message from an unknown number. It read, "You promised me this moment. I'm watching." No name, no reply. Just that. What's even crazier is the way the team reacted. D4vd's right-hand guy, his assistant who's been with him since the early days, reportedly got into an argument with security backstage. Someone was asking too many questions. Someone was trying to keep things quiet. And then the music hit. The lights went down. D4vd stepped on stage, and the girl. She was still right there in the front row, staring. Silent Auto fan captured a blurry video clip on their phone. Just 5 seconds long. You can see her silhouette, dark hoodie, sunglasses, hands folded, not moving an inch. The video went viral within minutes. People started zooming in, trying to analyze her body language, her face, her expression. Was she angry? Hurt? In control? One Twitter user wrote, "That's not a fan. That's a ghost from his past." Another replied, "He looked right at her during that second chorus. He knows who she is. And that's when the real chaos began. By the time the show ended, the energy backstage had shifted. People were tense. D4v didn't go straight to the green room like usual. He went into a side office and stayed there for almost 30 minutes. When he finally came out, his face looked tight, stressed, like something just went down. A leaked voice memo started making the rounds in Stan DMs. You can hear a female voice saying, "Don't act like you didn't see me. I was right there." And then a male voice, low and tired, says, "Why now?" The girl replies, "Because you told me this song was about me." Now, was it actually them? We don't know. But the fans? They were convinced. People started matching the voice to old Instagram lives, breaking down the way she said certain words, comparing waveforms like FBI agents. And just when people thought it might blow over, another leak dropped. This time, it was screenshots of a group chat. One of D4vd's close friends messaged, who invited her. "I swear if this gets out, it's on y'all." Another person replied, she was never supposed to show up. He said he cut her off. Cut her off. That line right there started a whole new wave of speculation. Who was she to D4v? An ex? A side piece? A muse? Someone deeper? The theories got out of hand real quick. One TikTok account claimed she was a dancer from his early tours. Another said she was a ghostwriter who wanted credit. The wildest theory: she was a plant from a rival label trying to derail his momentum. But here's the thing, she wasn't done yet. The next day, she posted something cryptic on her private Instagram story. Only a few hundred followers, account on private, but screenshots leaked fast. It was a black screen with one line of white text. You can't erase someone who built the foundation. And that was all it took. The floodgates opened. Within hours, Twitter was flooded with hashtags like #D4vd exposed, #Shecknosed for VD, and #FrontRowTruth. The fanbase split in two. Some defended him like their lives depended on it. Others wanted answers. Who was this girl? Why was she showing up now? And what exactly did she mean by foundation? People started digging. Old pictures, backstage photos, interviews, even analyzing his lyrics, especially the ones about heartbreak and betrayal. One line from a lesser-known track resurfaced where he says, "You left notes in the green room, but never stayed for the show." Fans connected the dots. Maybe that was her dot, but then came the first major twist. A blogger with connections to the industry dropped a thread that sent everyone spiraling. They claimed the girl wasn't just a fan or an ex. She was tied to someone inside D4vd's family, like blood-related, possibly a cousin's ex, maybe even the daughter of someone on his management team. Someone close, too close, and apparently the family knew about her. And they didn't like it one bit. An alleged text from a family group chat was leaked. One member wrote, "I told him to keep her away. Now, look what's happening." Another said, "He never listens. She's dangerous. Dangerous." Fans were shook. What did that mean? What was she capable of? Why did the family call her a threat? Then it got even messier. Another message surfaced from D4vd's tour manager, saying, "I don't care what she says, she's not getting another backstage pass. Lock it down." That means she had been backstage before. Multiple times. Stage before. Multiple times. So this wasn't just a one-time incident. This was a pattern. Meanwhile, D4vd stayed silent. No tweets, no posts. No statements. And that silence, it spoke volumes. Fans started to panic. Was he hiding something? Was he scared? Was he being threatened? The streets were buzzing. People were posting memes, reaction videos, think pieces. Some were joking, others were dead serious. One YouTuber said, "This is bigger than we thought. This girl ain't playing. She got receipts. She got access. She's been in the room." And just when you thought it couldn't get more chaotic, someone dropped the wildest claim yet. An anonymous user posted on a subreddit, claiming they had seen the girl, let's call her S, at 3 different shows on the tour. Not just in the crowd, but in the artist area. They even described the same black hoodie, same sunglasses, same vibe. One user replied, "She moves like she's part of the crew, but no one ever talks to her." Another person claimed they saw her slip a note to D4vd during a meet and greet, and he looked shook. It was clear now. S wasn't some random girl. She had access, connections, and a plan. And whatever her plan was, it was only just beginning, because later that night, after the concert chaos and social media storm, something else happened. Someone hacked into D4vd's close friend's Finsta. They leaked a photo. Not just any photo, a selfie of D4v and S, sitting close, smiling, dated 5 months before the tour even started. And that's exactly where the story takes a dark turn. Because the leaked selfie didn't just prove they knew each other, it proved they were close. Real close. Not just industry-level cool, not just a quick backstage flick, but comfortable. Her head was leaning on his shoulder. He had his arm around her waist. They weren't looking at the camera, they were looking at each other. And the date on the file. 5 months before tour rehearsals even started, the fans lost their minds. Timelines were flooded. D4vd's name was trending again by sunrise. But this time with a different energy. Betrayal, shock, confusion. Captions were wild. He really had a whole relationship and told us nothing. This man wrote songs about heartbreak while being booed up on the low. And the most viral one? She was never in the crowd. She was always in the room. Then the voice notes dropped. One account, known for leaking underground rap drama, posted 2 short clips. The first one is all static. Then, a voice. Hers, it's soft, almost whispering, but with a bite. "You said it would always be us. Now I'm just some hidden memory." Then a male voice replies. It's clearly him. Not from a song, not rehearsed. Raw, he says, "You knew what this was. You knew the risk." The internet went ballistic. Fans started arguing in comments, fighting in spaces, creating deep dive threads on Twitter, trying to break down the timeline. They matched outfits, analyzed backdrops. One user said, "Yo, that wall behind them in the selfie. That's from the studio he recorded in Miami. She was there when he was making the album." It's that album, the one that had all the sad songs, all the heartbreak anthems. People realized it might have been about her. Or worse, written with her in the room. And this is when the story stopped being just gossip. It became a war. His inner circle started folding. Close friends unfollowed him. One of his producers posted a cryptic message, "Loyalty don't live here no more." Fans instantly clocked it. He was talking about D4vd. Then someone from his team, we won't name names, went live on Insta. Barely 5 minutes. No names dropped, but it was heavy. Dude said, "Don't ask me about no concerts. I ain't covering for nobody no more. Y'all gon' see the truth soon." That live set off alarms. Blogs picked it up instantly. Headlines read, "D4vd team member ready to expose everything. An insider goes rogue after girlfriend scandal." And just a few hours later, another piece of the puzzle dropped. Someone anonymously sent in footage of S walking into the venue 2 nights before the September show. Not through the front, not through the side, but through the artist's entrance. She was buzzed in. No hesitation. The person filming said she knew the code. Didn't even wait for someone to open the door. Which means someone gave her access, and that someone was likely on the payroll. The fanbase started calling it the inside job. TikTok was flooded with conspiracy breakdowns. One user had a whiteboard mapping it all out, arrows connecting names, show dates, leaked texts. He called it Operation Ghost Girl. Another girl did a 3-part series comparing S to other infamous industry plants. She said, "This ain't love. This is strategy. This is infiltration." But hold up, it doesn't stop there. Because on day 3 of the madness, S herself came back online. Not directly, not publicly. But she changed her Instagram bio. 3 little words: I was there. No posts. No stories. Just that. And that bio alone reignited everything. Fans started demanding answers. People were spamming D4vd's comments. Even under unrelated posts, promo content, old photos, random tweets, all you'd see was "Who is she? Explain the photo," or "Why you hiding her?" He didn't respond, but the silence? It got real loud then. Like clockwork, another twist hit the timeline. A former stylist for D4vd, someone who had only worked with him a few times, dropped a TikTok saying she had seen S before. Not once, not twice, but at every fitting in early summer. She said, "I thought she was a brand rep or something." The way she sat in the corner, watching everything. When asked why she never questioned it, she said, "He introduced her as someone important. That's all we needed to hear." So now the question shifted. If he introduced her to team members, brought her to fittings, let her sit in on creative meetings, why act like she didn't exist later? Was he trying to protect her? Or was he hiding something deeper? That's when fans started connecting the dots between S and D4vd's music. Especially one song from earlier in the year. In the bridge, he says, "She moved like a ghost, but slept in my bed, left lipstick on water bottles, never said what she meant." That lyric hit different now. Fans started calling it the Ghost Girl verse. But not everyone was buying it. Some people defended D4vd hard. They said, "Y'all don't know what goes on behind the scenes, or this man makes art. Stop digging into his private life." Others blamed S, accusing her of trying to ride the wave now that D4vd's getting bigger. One post said she had 5 months to say something. Why now? But then came the receipts that shook the entire internet. An anonymous drop to a gossip page known for verified tips included a flight itinerary under S's legal name, matching dates, matching cities, every stop of the tour. She wasn't just showing up at random. She was following the schedule. Someone was booking those flights, someone on the inside, and then the biggest bomb dropped. In a string of leaked texts, allegedly, between S and D4vd's tour manager, S writes, "I'm coming to the September show. Whether you tell him or not is up to you." And then, I never signed an NDA. I'll do what I want. The internet froze. She never signed an NDA. That meant she could talk. She could post. She could go live and blow the whole thing wide open if she wanted to. And now people started speculating, was that her plan all along? To bait him into silence and hold the truth over his head like a weapon. Some fans felt betrayed. Others felt scared for him. And a few. They started rooting for her, calling her the invisible muse, the one who inspired the pain behind the hits. One Twitter thread even called her the girl who haunts his pen. Meanwhile, inside his circle, pressure was building. Sources close to the team say D4vd's been locking down. Phones off. Studio sessions private. Only working with a skeleton crew. One engineer posted a story from inside the booth, tagging nobody, but captioned it, "Energy's dark. Walls talking." And then, another twist. A paparazzi-style photo surfaced. Blurry, grainy, but clearly D4vd. And walking beside him, a woman, short hoodie, sunglasses, head down. People were 99% sure it was S. The photo was taken just 2 days after the September show, which means he met with her. After all the drama, after the internet meltdown, he met with her. Because if they really met up after all that chaos, after the photos, the leaks, the timeline explosions, then this wasn't some petty internet scandal. This was deeper, emotional, personal, something that even D4vd couldn't walk away from. The fans were already in full meltdown mode. They had spent days building theories, making memes, dragging him, defending him, exposing her, and now, boom. They might have been back together the entire time. But it wasn't just that one photo. 2 days later, she posted something. Not on her story, not in a caption, just a background detail that real fans caught immediately. It was a short clip of a sunset, posted to close friends only. A quiet song played underneath. Not one of his hits, something unreleased. Fans recognized the vocals, the tone, the pain. It was D4vd, and the track had never been heard before. That's when people realized she still had access to unreleased music. One Stan account posted, "Y'all, she got his vault. This ain't over." Another replied, "She's not leaking out of revenge. She's leaking to remind him who she is. She's leaking to remind him who she is." That track clip spread like wildfire. Producers started chiming in, claiming the song was from a scrapped EP that D4vd was supposed to drop over the summer. The one his team said he wasn't ready for emotionally. And now, we know why. The lyrics, straight up haunting. One line hit harder than the rest. "Your silence is a mirror, and it looks just like me." Now the fans were divided in a whole new way. Not just over the relationship, but whether S was a villain or a victim. Some said she was exposing D4vd because he tried to erase her. Others said she was manipulating the internet to force his hand. And a few, the boldest ones, started saying she was controlling the whole narrative from day one. But D4vd, still no public response. No tweet, no live, no statement, nothing. The closest thing we got was a blurry photo of him in the studio, posted by someone else, with the caption, "Focused." And even that felt like a cry for help. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the damage control was spiraling. Insiders say his label started locking down, canceling interviews, pulling press invites. Allegedly, even threatened legal action towards smaller pages covering the story. One blog posted a disclaimer saying, "We have been asked to cease coverage," which only made the fans go harder. Because if they were trying to hide it, then it had to be real. And just when it felt like everything had been said, another bomb dropped. A podcast episode leaked. Unlisted, taken down minutes after it was uploaded. But not before fans grabbed clips. In the episode, an unnamed female guest voice altered talks about being involved with a rising artist who wrote songs based on their private conversations. She said, "He told me I inspired his darkness. He didn't say thank you. He made it art and left me invisible." That quote alone hit Twitter like a nuke. Was that her? Fans compared the voice, the tone, the phrasing, even the pauses. They said it matched her voice from previous lives. And if it was her, then that was the first time she had truly spoken out, even anonymously. It was at that moment people started questioning the entire brand behind D4vd, if he really built his emotional sound off of someone he never credited. Was he authentic? Or was it calculated pain? Someone tweeted, "She wasn't a muse. She was the blueprint." But the plot thickened again, because on the same day that podcast dropped, one of D4vd's oldest friends broke silence. He posted a tweet and deleted it 30 minutes later. But of course, the screenshots spread fast. It said, "He ain't innocent. Stop crying over lyrics when you know what you did." Just like that, it wasn't just about a girl anymore. It was about accountability, betrayal, manipulation, and now, maybe even guilt. A TikTok creator with ties to the Houston scene said, she remembered seeing D4v and S together at a private event last year. She said S was introduced as his creative partner and was helping with lyric revisions in real time. She would whisper something in his ear and he'd change the whole bar, she said. It was wild. Like watching someone build a track live using her words. So now people started asking how much of his music was actually his. The conspiracy turned full circle. This wasn't just about a relationship gone wrong. It was a power dynamic. Maybe even exploitation. People started using terms like emotional ghostwriting. One viral TikTok said she didn't want fame. She wanted credit, and now she's taking it. But here's where it gets really messy. A private Discord server for D4vd. Fans got infiltrated by someone claiming to be S's close friend. They dropped a folder. Inside, screenshots, voice notes, and what looked like a song demo with her vocals layered under his. Fans lost it. Some said it was AI. Others swore it was real. But regardless, it reopened every wound. One audio clip had her saying, "You took everything we built and made it a single. I asked for love. You gave me streams." That quote became an instant meme and a war cry. Her defenders started a new hashtag. #SheWasTheTrack. Even artists began chiming in subtly. One indie rapper posted a quote tweet, "Give credit to the women who inspire your pen." No tags, no names. But the message was clear. And while all this was happening, D4vd's public appearances dropped to 0. His Spotify bio went blank. His official page removed old interviews. The silence felt strategic, but also, somehow, like surrender. And then came the curveball no one expected. A fan noticed a change on her private Insta. New profile pic. A simple, blurry image of a lyric written on a piece of notebook paper. 4 words, "You owe me art." People went into full decode mode. Who owed what? Was she threatening to leak more? Was she waiting for a call? Was this some twisted version of closure? And that's when the final piece of the puzzle fell into place. A new single suddenly dropped on D4vd's burner SoundCloud. No promo, no cover, just a title, Foundation. The same words she had posted in her original story. The lyrics. "I tried to paint your silence with melodies, but the echo kept sounding like you purr. I thought time would forget the architect, but the house still looks like your room." Fans were frozen. He had responded, not with a tweet, not with a video, but with a song, and it was sad. Broken, beautiful, and undeniably about her. Which brings us right to the edge, because now the internet is watching, waiting, refreshing, holding its breath for what comes next. Because once that track dropped Foundation, everything shifted. Fans weren't just speculating anymore. They were feeling it, hearing the pain in his voice, watching the unraveling happen in real time. This wasn't just another leak or rumor. This was D4v speaking directly to her and to us. The comment section exploded. People were typing full essays. "This is the rawest we've ever heard him." You can feel the regret in every word. She was the foundation, and he finally admitted it. And the one that really went viral? He ain't rapping to us anymore. He's rapping to her. But here's where it gets twisted. The song wasn't up for long. Within 36 hours, Foundation disappeared. Gone, wiped from his SoundCloud. Scrubbed from mentions, even re-uploads were hit with takedowns. Fans knew that meant only one thing. Someone inside stepped in. Either legal, label, or her. Because not long after the takedown, someone close to S posted a message to their story. Nothing direct, just the words, "He knows better." No tags. No location, but the timing. It was loud. This immediately sparked a new theory that she let him drop that track. like a test, like one final moment of honesty. And once he passed, she pulled the plug. Others weren't buying it. They said she forced a takedown because it exposed too much, that she didn't want the world to see how deep it really went. And then a third group. They said the whole thing was coordinated. A last chapter in a relationship that had always been built on art, secrecy, and pain. But while the fan base was divided, one thing became clear: this wasn't over. Because 48 hours later, someone hacked into an archived live session from a now-deleted burner account. The stream was only 2 minutes, recorded months ago, but it showed D4vd and S in a studio together. He's at the mic. She's behind him, sitting with a notepad. At one point, he turns to her and asks, "Does this line hit?" And she nods, then says, "Cut the second half. It's too soft. Make it bite." That one clip confirmed everything fans had been arguing for weeks. She wasn't just in the room. She was shaping the sound. The audio went viral. People reposted it with captions like "She built his pain with her pen." This is more than a muse, and the most haunting one. She's the co-author of his heartbreak. And now, the pressure was on. Rap blogs started asking the real question: will she speak publicly? Because until now, everything had been anonymous, cryptic, leaked through friends or close circles. But the demand was growing. Fans wanted to hear her side directly, unfiltered, raw. They wanted the truth. Then, out of nowhere, a small podcast dropped a teaser. The clip was short, grainy audio, blurred visuals. But the host's voice was clear. "We sat down with the girl who inspired the storm. You don't want to miss this one." The comments were a war zone. This better be real. No way she actually sat down to talk. She gonna bury him or clear him? The teaser ended with just 4 words from her: "I'm done hiding now." Boom. Just like that, the countdown began. But before that episode could even drop, someone else beat her to the mic: D4vd. He went live, no warning, no promo, just a black screen and his voice. Tired, broken, honest. It wasn't a performance. It was confession. Confession. He said, "I never meant for it to get like this. I didn't protect her the way I should have. I thought keeping it private would save us both." But silence turned into damage. He paused. You could hear him breathing heavy. He continued, "Everything you heard. Most of it's true. Some of it's twisted, but she wasn't a stranger. She was everything." Fans in the chat went crazy. Hearts flooding. Comments flying too fast to read. Some crying. Some screaming. Some just typing her name over and over again. He ended the live after only 7 minutes. No Q&A, no goodbye. Just, "I'm sorry," and the screen went black dot, and that's when S made her move. Not with an interview. Not with a press run, with a post. Her first real post since everything started. It was a Polaroid. Old, faded. Of her and D4vd, sitting on the floor of what looked like a tiny studio. She had her knees pulled up. He had a notebook in his lap. They weren't looking at the camera, they were looking at each other, like to people who had lived 100 lives in silence. The caption? "You can have the songs. I'll keep the moments." That post broke the internet. Overnight, it had over 1 million likes. Comments from celebrities, artists, producers, even other rappers who never speak on drama. One producer wrote, "Sometimes the realest art comes from the most painful silence." Another said, "She carried the sound, respect." And just like that, the tone shifted. People weren't dragging her anymore. They were celebrating her, uplifting her. Fans started tagging her in D4vd lyrics, calling her the real author. One even tweeted, "She didn't ruin him. She raised the music." The story turned legendary. Not just a scandal. Not just a breakup, but a moment in culture where 2 young creatives collided. crashed and created something unforgettable, even if it cost them everything. And the craziest part? Neither of them said they were done. D4vd posted one final message to his close. Friend's story, a blurry shot of a notebook page. 3 lines. I lost you in silence but found you in sound. Maybe that's where we live now. Fans believe a new project is coming. Maybe a joint tape. Maybe a visual album. Maybe nothing at all, but one thing's for sure, she's no longer the girl. In the shadows, she's the ghost behind the music. The muse turned myth. The foundation, and now, the world's watching to see what happens next. From secret concerts to leaked selfies, cryptic voice notes, studio confessions, and the internet's most unexpected power move. D4vd's Ghost Girl didn't just show up, ... She took over the narrative. She went from being a blurry face in the crowd to the center of the storm. The blueprint behind the heartbreak, the silence behind the sound. And whether you think she's a villain, a victim, or a visionary, one thing is clear, she changed the game without ever dropping a single bar. And D4v. He's not innocent, but he's not heartless either. He gave us music that healed, that hurt, that hit deep. But at what cost? Was it love? Was it loss? Or was it something even heavier? Something we weren't meant to see. Because in the end, all we really got were fragments. Clues, confessions, wrapped in lyrics. But the full truth? Only they know that, so the real question now, is this the end of the story? Or just the beginning? Will they reunite? Will she drop a statement? Will he put it all into a final album and leave us shattered again? What do you think really happened? Was she the ghost or the genius? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading everything. Smash that like button if your jaw dropped at least once. And don't forget to subscribe, because this is just one piece of the rap drama puzzle we're solving every week. More tea, more secrets, more chaos. Coming real soon. Stay locked in. Stay watching, because in the rap game, nothing, and I mean nothing, stays buried forever. Stays buried forever.